Hi everyone and welcome to this week's virtual retreat. I hope you are all well, and this week we are talking about how to remain focused even when lockdown is coming to an end and we are going to resume some form of normality, whatever that new normal is. And really honing in on two things, accountability partners and mastermind groups, and how they can prove really, really useful to keep you on track and keep you focused on your goals. Here at the Professional Retreat, we do encourage active support with each other before the retreat, after the retreat, during the retreat, and it's a non-judgmental environment. So for me, accountability partners and groups like this are really, really, really important. So that's why I would like to talk to you about them today. So over the course of lockdown, we have done 90-day plans to keep us structured for the 12 weeks, 3 months. We have done vision boards to help visualize our futures and visualize our goals. And now as we come out of this state of, a bit of a bubble really, how are we going to keep on track with those, with all of the distractions that are going to come our way as normal life resumes again? We are constantly asked to go out, networking, business, work itself, the routine with the family, the routine with the kids, and sometimes we can lose ourselves in that. So by having an accountability partner or joining a group, it can really keep you on track and help you really achieve your goals, probably a lot quicker and easier than what you would be doing if you were on your own. If you haven't made your 90-day plans yet, or vision boards, by the way, and you're feeling that maybe you haven't been that productive over the lockdown period, please do not worry. We have made the videos available on our YouTube channel. So you can go along on there and find those videos and create yours. I think that there's been a lot of pressure on ourselves to be productive and to use this time to, do renovations, to spend quality time with the family, to, bake bread every day, to set up a new business, to smash our goals, to run a 5K in 15 minutes. Some of these unrealistic expectations and a lot of what we put on ourselves, we can really sort of park them. I think the fact that we've just got through it at all with our, with our friends, with our family, and if we are still looking at workshops like this and webinars like this to help us refocus, then we know that deep down we want to achieve our goals, and the goals are still there, but we just probably need to hone in on those, refocus, and use this time wisely now for the rest of the time where the world is a slower place, just to get back on track. And you can do that really, really easily, and it shouldn't be anything overwhelming. So as I say, the vision boards and the 90-day plans will absolutely help you get back on track and help you refocus on what you want and what you've learned over lockdown. And then hopefully after this today, you'll maybe identify a couple of people that you want in your circle, that you want in your corner to hold you accountable to these goals, but also maybe look to join a mastermind group or something like that to take you to the next level, to take you even further. So as I say, if you haven't been as productive, do not worry. There's lots and lots of time. And, lockdown's only been 12 weeks or 10 weeks for some. And we've got years and years ahead of us. So please do not ever think that, oh gosh, I didn't achieve enough in this time. Just get rid of that right now. Just park that and think about the future. Because, the worst thing is now, if you do want to start it now, is not starting it today. So let's start that today. So what is an accountability partner? And what is a mastermind group? I think these are maybe terms used in some businesses, maybe not. If you're self-employed, you might have joined a group before, like a networking group, and then sort of masterminded some ideas with them. If you are a professional, you might think this is more of like a mentor role or a coaching role. It's kind of a hybrid of all of them, to be honest, all together. And I think it's quite an unusual term. I don't think people use it a lot as much, but I think they do already have them in their lives. So, for instance, an accountability partner, someone who's in your life who is going to hold you to account. If you talk to them about your goals and about your dreams and about your visions, you might have shared your vision board with them. You might have shared your 90-day plan with them. It could be your best friend. It could be your sister. It could be anyone, and you might have talked with them, and then every now and again when you phone them or they phone you, they say, oh, how's that going, by the way? And they're subconsciously trying to keep on track and trying to help you reach your goals, and offer you guidance without actually probably knowing it. So I think a lot of people already have these support networks around them, but probably don't call them, oh, you're my accountability partner. And what I like to, especially with accountability partners, I like to see them as almost birthing partners. Now, I've never had a child, but I envisage a birthing partner to be with you every step of the way. So they come to the classes with you, they go through, they help you, read all the books, do all the techniques that is going to create that experience and the easiest experience for you. They're going to be there at crunch time. They're going to be telling you to breathe, just stop, remember what you're doing this for, breathe, and then help you get through it to obviously the ultimate goal. And I mean, that's just an example of how to put it in some sort of context, but an accountability partner is very much the same. They're going to be that person who you're going to share a lot with in terms of, and when we talk about these goals, it could be personal, professional, business goals. It could be that you want to be fitter, run that 5K. It could be that you want to save X amount of money to buy a house. It could be that you do want to smash a target at work. You want a promotion in your career. You want to set up a business. You want to grow your client base, your network base. You want to grow your sales. It literally could be anything. And obviously your goals are personal to you. And by sharing it with them, you're letting them into your inner circle, your inner thoughts, and what you really want to achieve with yourself. So I've created a couple of top tips for what an accountability partner really should what you should be looking for basically in one. So when you're looking at an accountability partner, or if you're becoming one for someone else, as I said, it could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a work colleague. And I think that choosing a partner, like a romantic partner, has its pros and cons. For instance, you want to get up every morning to write a blog or to progress your business goals. And your partner is trying to, he or she wants to go out the night before and, have a big night out the night before, and they're not really taking in consideration that you actually need to be focused the next morning to achieve your goals. So, that's just one example of how sometimes when somebody in a personal relationship can not necessarily be the best accountability partner. You kind of want somebody at a distance who, if they do challenge you on something, you're not going to be in a bit of a huff like, oh God, what's he or she talking to me like that for? Or, or pulling me up about that for, as we do in relationships, we all know what it's like if somebody tries to suggest that maybe you haven't done things the right way and you kind of take it personally. Whereas if you have somebody that's, one step removed from you, they're more likely to be more honest with you, keep you on track, and say, actually, is going out the night before that presentation the best idea? Because remember what your goal was. So think about that, and think about who you've got around you in your circle, who you think would be really good for this type of commitment. So when you're becoming accountability partners, and remember, it's a two-way street. So although you might be picking one to help you, it's very much about how you can help them as well, because you're in it together and it's a give and take relationship. First of all, I'd really pay attention and understand each other's goals. So really opening up and declaring, what you're looking to achieve. And you could share your vision board. You could talk about your 90-day plan, and you could, even with your vision board, you could literally talk through it and say, right, this is why, this is what I'm doing it for. This is why I'm doing it. And this is what I want to achieve. And this is my vision board, which I keep visible to myself in my office. And so, every day, this is what I'm going to look at, and I need you to help me to get there. And when people share those types of things, you really need to listen. And I think that listening is a really powerful tool, because just allowing someone to get something off their chest or just to talk about something is so, so powerful. When we sometimes are listening, we're on our phones, or say if we're talking to a family member and they're watching TV and we think, are they really taking me seriously? Sometimes they might not think that your business idea or the venture or your goal is the right one, and therefore might try and talk you out of it, or sort of think, is that really for you? But by listening to your partner, your accountability partner, who is going to hold you to these, they're more likely to, yeah, absolutely offer feedback and critique, but it's going to be from a constructive perspective rather than a personal perspective. So when you're listening to each other, we don't want to judge each other, because even if you think, oh my God, that's totally unrealistic and a big audacious goal, let that person really talk about why they're doing it and how they think they're going to do it, and then really delve into another level, into a deeper conversation about it. You are just as accountable as the supportive partner as they are. So, you know, it is a give and take relationship, and ideally you would have goals as well to support, so that they could support you with, and then it's a two-way street, it's give and take, and you're more likely to want to keep in touch on a regular basis, to keep each other on track, because you've got a mutual interest in achieving something. So have a think about that. What are your goals, and how can you sort of receive from the relationship as well as give to the relationship for somebody else's goals? Regularly check in on each other. I think accountability partner, it shouldn't feel like a tie or a strain. It really should be about, you know, a WhatsApp message, a Zoom call, a FaceTime, a phone call, a face-to-face meeting if you can. Catch up over a coffee, and it literally could be 5 minutes, it could be daily, weekly, it could be monthly. And you know, sometimes all it takes is, you know, so how's that going for you? You know, you wanted to achieve X amount in sales, or you wanted to get that career promotion, or you wanted to do that fitness goal. You know, how's that working out? What steps have you taken to do it? And how far along are you on the journey? And, you know, just some key questions like that. And sometimes it's just a chat. And knowing, I know for sure, when I've spoken to somebody and they've said, so how's such and such going? I'm like, oh God, yeah, you've actually reminded me that I did promise myself and you that I was going to do that. And it really sort of reignites then going, yeah, actually, do you know what? I need to get refocused again. And I need to smash that, because I did say that I was going to do that. And I think ourselves, when we leave it to ourselves, we have short-term memory. And, you know, for instance, like sports, fitness. So I know that on some days I look outside and I think I absolutely do not want to get out of bed. It's cold, it's dark. And the only person I'm letting myself down is me. And do you know what? Sometimes I'm okay with that. And I do promote that as well. Like, you know, if you don't want to do something, then allow yourself to just take some time out and reevaluate why you're feeling that way if you're having a bit of a low day. But sometimes we're just looking for excuses. However, if you have an accountability partner, say like a training partner, who is going to be waiting for you at the track or the park, ready to go for that run or that boot camp, you don't want to let them down. And I think as humans, we're perfectly fine to let ourselves down. We can get over it, we can accept it, we can move on quite quickly, but we really don't like letting other people down. We really don't like disappointing them, or, you know, to think that I was keeping somebody else from achieving their goal, or throwing them off track, or losing faith in me. I absolutely do not want that. It's not my personality. So by having an accountability partner, you kind of think to yourself, I really, really want to stay in bed. And then you think, damn it, they're going to be at the park. They've woken up at 6 o'clock this morning. They've made it out. They've texted me saying, see you there. I can't let them down. Off you go. And when you get there, it's more enjoyable. You're together, and that sense of achievement together, and really pulling each other through the darkest of times. So 100%, you know, to show up. And when actions are not complete or achieved, just remind each other as to what we committed at the very beginning. You know, remind me why we're doing this, or why did you set that goal, or, you know, check into vision board again. Sometimes we do need that time to refocus, get clarity again, and we can definitely support each other, especially when you know what the original goals were and you understand the journey that they're going through. Now, some people face various difficulties like lockdown, family emergencies that are, you know, that just crop up, but it's our duty to be supportive and help people find the path again and get back on track again if they do fall off the wagon. And again, challenge your partner if their actions are not leading towards the goal that they desired, if they're going off track a little bit, if they're losing their way slightly. That is what our role is about. It's about making sure that they find clarity again, and that they refocus and get back on track again, whatever that might be. So even if something has come left field at them and completely knocked them out, you know, it's for us to give them that time and then remind them why they're doing this and what they wanted to set out to achieve, and reignite that passion in them again. And if they do make a decision that, you know, or go down a different route or a different path, or abandon that goal altogether, you know, it's not for us to frown or to judge them. It's for us to support them, figure out, you know, why they made that decision or that choice, and try and guide them and remind them of what they want to achieve in the first place. And if this new goal or this new direction helps them get there, then brilliant. But it really should have actions that align to what they really, really want. So sometimes it's just that conversation again. How's that working out for you? What is it you're looking to achieve? Because your actions and what you're doing aren't really aligning with that. So let's chat it through, and then it might make sense, but it might not. And again, it's finding that clarity again. And the best part of it is congratulating each other when you do reach a milestone, or you have actually achieved something. Because I know that if I've achieved something personally or professionally, yeah, my family and my partner are happy for me, but no one knows me better than my work colleague or my accountability partner. When I've achieved something that they know how much I've worked at, and how long for, and then when I've actually achieved it or done something, you know, they're going to be some of your biggest cheerleaders out there, really. They're going to really sort of pat you on the back and go, yes, we've done it. Equally, celebrating their achievements helps spur you on as well. So it just is a really great feel-good time for both of you in the accountability relationship, when you've actually achieved something and you know that you've helped each other get there. And isn't it good when you can actually celebrate your wins and not just think about you know, or the next thing and the next thing, you know, actually take time, be in the present and celebrate the here and now for each other. So what are the best ways to find an accountability partner? Because that sounds great and it's going to help us achieve our goals. And for me, as I said, a friend, a family member, but not really your partner, a colleague at work or somebody in your network is the ideal person. Somebody who knows sort of the type of person you are, the line of industry that you're in, and sort of has a ground understanding of sort of a foundation understanding of who you are and what you do. And then you can go into more details about the goals and everything else. And then you can really start that relationship. But it might be somebody that you don't really talk to that much right now, or you've never approached. And I don't think it necessarily needs to be your mentor, your coach, your boss, your supervisor, your manager. I don't think it needs to be any of these people. And if you want it to be, then great. But just try and think about who's the most reliable person, who's going to hold you to account, who's going to check in with you, you're going to check in with them. Maybe identify somebody who you could help in return. So as I say, it's a two-way street. And so look at those around you and pick somebody who's going to be in your corner for the long haul and see you through this. So the next thing I want to talk about is mastermind groups. And these are different from accountability partners. These are usually groups of between 4 and 12 people. It could be, depending on the nature of the group. It also depends on how it's been led, how it's been run, who's doing it, and who are involved. But essentially, it's a group of people who are going to work together to look at specific subjects, challenges, personally or professionally, and help each other identify solutions, ways of going about things, some new ideas, a different perspective. And sometimes I think this is really, really useful because, again, if you're self-employed, if you work from home often, or if you say you lead a team, but you don't necessarily get all of the input, or you don't feel the creative input from your team or from an organization, and you're looking for ideas elsewhere, these are great groups to tap into, because normally people in these groups are from different industries. They are they're knowledgeable. Ideally, they're better than you at something. And that's one thing I think we struggle with sometimes, is actually acknowledging the fact that we actually need to surround ourselves with people that are better than us. And that's okay. That's actually a great thing, because if they're a step ahead of two of us, one or two steps ahead of us, sorry, then they can take us on their journey because they've probably been there and done it already. So for instance, if you're looking at a digital marketing campaign or social media or increase in sales or looking to get that promotion, find that career, do that personal goal, the personal savings, financial goals, you know, if you have people around you who have kind of been there and done it not so long ago, they're going to probably offer you the most relevant and recent advice, their trials and tribulations, how they went about it, and their highs and lows as well, and really give you some honest feedback. I think as well is, as part of the group, you can offer a lot to other people, and never underestimate what you have to give, because again, I think that we sometimes underestimate ourselves, we undervalue ourselves. And I know that I've been part of a couple of mastermind groups, and when I've sat and listened to what somebody is looking for or stuck on or anything like that, I'm like, well, yeah, absolutely, this is what I'd do. And I've offered my advice, and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't think about it in that way. I didn't have that perspective. And from your experience, you know, this is, you know, what's happened. So never underestimate the value that you can offer the group as well. Exactly like the accountability partnership, never underestimate and undervalue the support that you can provide to other people. So joining a mastermind group for me is a really big step for anybody that really wants to accelerate their learning, their development, personally and professionally, to achieve goals, to create something that they've been wanting to create for a long time but never really knew how. And it's proven that, you know, driven entrepreneurs who want to grow a thriving business utilize mastermind groups to have that accountability in a wider network, to get the feedback, to get advice. You know, a lot of CEOs and senior leaders in businesses are part of masterminds where they surround themselves with equally knowledgeable people who may be better than them, but also understand at their level what it takes to run a business or lead a team. And so I think it's a really important thing. And I don't think a lot of us do it. I really don't think many people, it's widely a done thing. I think if you're in business or a certain line of work, then it is. And it shouldn't even be limited to those that are working on their own or self-employed. This could be you and your friends. This could be you and your the other leaders at work, or your other colleagues at work, at whatever level, because this isn't limited to CEOs. This can be for anybody. And, you know, it should be facilitated by somebody who's going to help guide the discussion, because what you don't want is it to just be a generic networking session. That's not what the point of these sessions are. These sessions are to share advice, tackle a problem, and have really tangible outcomes and active advice. So how do you get into a mastermind group? So first of all, you can go to, there's plenty of information on LinkedIn, there's plenty of information on things like, you know, women in business groups or different networking groups. But as I say, you can actually create one yourself. So some charge for these types of mastermind groups. And others don't. And if you set one up yourself, it's a really cost-effective way of trying to build up your network, your community, and your accountability partners, as well as getting some really great advice from people that you probably already have in your network. So maybe take time to make a list, and if you do this with the accountability partners as well, take time to make a list of everybody in your network who you think could actually help you with your goals, with your professional goals, business goals, personal goals, or accountability partners, potential accountability partners, and start making a list of what they do, their qualities, and then maybe approach them and say, you know, I'm looking to create a mastermind group, or I'm looking for an accountability partner, and I was thinking it might be a really great opportunity for us to, you know, get our heads together and help each other reach our goals. And, you know, who would say no to that? Because if someone rang me and said, look, I think I've got something to offer you, and I think you could offer something back, so let's get together once a week, once a month, and see if we can help each other. I mean, yeah, that's right up my street. So, and as part of the professional retreat, I'm actually helping link people together to find mastermind groups and accountability partners. So if you need any help, please either comment on this video, or you can email us and find information on our website, www.professionalretreat.co.uk. So the mastermind groups, first of all, when you start one, or if you join one, it's all about introducing each other and building trust within the group, because it should be confidential. Anything that is shared, because people could charge probably for their time to do this. You need help with social media, someone's going to give you some advice about social media. You need help of a business goal or professional goal or anything like that. People could actually charge for their time, whereas being part of this group, it's a give and take relationship, a bit like the accountability. So it's about being in the group together and helping each other, but it's all built on trust. So introduce each other and what you want to achieve as part of the group. So for instance, it could be you could be self-employed, and you might want to join a group because actually self-employment can be quite isolating and quite lonely. You aren't the best at digital marketing and social media, but you're really good at selling, and you're really good at the customer service, and you're really good at something else, but you struggle in other areas. And so, you're putting your cards on the table, and then other people can do the same. You can start to identify what the strengths and weaknesses are in the group. And you can share your ideas, your problems with the group, and what you're looking to achieve. So I attended one the other day, and I didn't really have anything that I necessarily needed to solve or anything. I was just quite interested. I just wanted to listen and help if I could. And the leader of the mastermind group allowed everybody to she said, right, everybody's got 2 minutes to share an idea or a problem that they need solving, or an idea that they need help with, that they would like to discuss in more detail. And everyone had 2 minutes to essentially, Dragon's Den style, put their case forward. Then after that time, as a group, we voted on the 2 cases that we wanted to explore further and discuss further in this mastermind. So for instance, it could be about how to build a website, and then it could be how to get more sales or lead generation, for instance. And then once the 2 top topics are chosen by the group, which is a diplomatic way, so that nobody takes over the mastermind. You don't want that, and you also don't want it to be about the same thing all the time. It needs to be a tangible problem or idea to solve, so that if not everybody, at least somebody's taken something away from it and achieving something with the advice. And then after that, everyone then got the opportunity to ask that individual who put the case forward, say for instance, building the website, questions, and questions only at this stage, about, okay, why do you need the website? Where are you currently marketing your business? What's your demographic? What's your customer avatar? Do they use websites? Is website really the most important thing for you right now? Do you use any of the social media platforms? Why haven't you created a website before? Leading questions and allowing that person then to explain why they need the website, what they've done before, what they haven't done, where their business is at. And then following on from that, then we all got to sort of take some time, make some notes about, listening to all these questions and her answers, what then we would advise, and I'm not a website expert at all. However, I knew that the demographic she was targeting was my demographic. And so therefore I was able to, we each in turn got to offer some advice, which was timed. So the leader said, right, you've got 2 minutes to offer your advice. And she set a timer. And on the Zoom conversation, we all got to take our 2 minutes to offer our advice in the situation. If we were in it, what would we do? So some people said, I know this website creating a platform which is super easy, super flexible. It offers templates. It'd be really easy for you to do, and it's really cost effective. Somebody else comes forward and says, for me, a website, is obviously your storefront, but in your business, it's really about relationships. So it should be a landing page, but don't focus too much on it. For me, I was talking about from the customer perspective to say, yeah, it's great to see a website. However, it's more about the content and keeping in touch with people and building those relationships, which you can't necessarily do through a website day to day. So, keep focusing on your other social media platforms, have that website as a landing page because it looks more professional. I would probably trust you as a business if you have one. However, don't be that's the be all and end all. Just because you have a website doesn't necessarily mean you have a thriving, successful business. There's lots of ways to communicate to your customers these days. So that's just one example of how that mastermind group worked. There's other ones where we have been in Zoom, WhatsApp conversations where it's a handful of people in a WhatsApp, and throughout the week we talk about, okay, Sunday, what's our intentions for this week? What are our goals for this week? On the Friday or Saturday, what did we achieve this week? What was our successes this week? And again, it's about accountability with each other. You know, we hold each other, right, okay, what do we need to do this week? It helps us get refocused. And then at the end of the week, what did we achieve, and help celebrate that achievement? And it's like bite-sized accountability week to week via a WhatsApp group, which is, you know, he's not phoning you all the time saying, why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done that? But it's also a safe place where, you know, people can throw ideas and say, what do you think about this? I'm looking to do this. What do you think? What website do you think is better for this or this? And so it's a really good way of sort of like an indirect but continuous accountability sort of forum. So the group is, you know, whatever group you join or create should actively promote ambitious goals and goals of any nature, really. You know, if somebody's in the group that isn't really working towards anything, then they're probably not going to be as driven to supporting you and driving you towards your goals. So you really kind of want like-minded people in the group who are equally as ambitious or driven or looking to achieve a similar thing. And again, it's about surrounding yourself with people that might be stronger in some areas and weaker in others, but that you've got a really good complement of people to help push you along. And one of the things I think as well that we really struggle with is about opening up and allowing others to critique or question our judgment on things, our judgment on the actions that we're taking or why we need to do something. So, you know, be open to ideas, critique and feedback. Drop your defense barriers and welcome the information and advice, and see it as support, and see it, you know, take it away, digest it. If you don't still believe in what they say, then that's your choice to move on from it. But you know, these people, if you're in this network together, this mastermind group together, from the very beginning, it's about building trust. So trust each other to be open and honest, but trust each other to not take offense to anything. And as long as it's non-judgmental and it's constructive, it will be of some use. And like I discussed before, it could be monthly, weekly, on a Zoom, it could be on a WhatsApp group. But in whatever forum it is, and in whatever form the group is, turn up. If you're not present and helpful, responsive, or if you don't invest any time or effort into the group, you're not going to get anything out of it. And I really firmly believe in this, because I think a lot of people sort of tend to take, or sometimes, you know, they lose interest and they just sort of fall off the wagon. They're not really following up with the actions, or they're not really following up with the next group meeting, and so they just sort of fall off the wagon, and then other people in the group aren't getting the most out of it. So that's what I would employ you to do, is to, if you're going to join one, turn up, be present. You might want to set a time frame on it. Maybe it's just a 12-week mastermind, so therefore you know it's not going to go on forever. You're not committed to it forever. It could be a 4-week mastermind. You know, it's a quick win to get out of lockdown in the most productive way. So we're going to do a 4-week mastermind, or we're going to do a 12-week mastermind in line with our 12-week plan, our 90-day goal plan, or we're going to do couch to 5K across 4 to 6 weeks. And so we'll have a group that's going to be for that duration to help kick us along a little bit with our health and fitness and well-being. So again, it can literally be anything at all. And when we are in these groups, the right questions to be asking really are, you know, what are our intentions this week or this month? What have our successes been, and celebrating those together? Have a vote on some topics that the group members want to talk about. So you could either take a tangible business idea or a tangible personal goal or dilemma, and then vote between the group, choose a topic, and then discuss it in detail. Because even though you're discussing somebody else's issue in detail, I guarantee you're going to take something from it, because the way people talk about these things, somebody else says something, you think, I've never even thought of it like that. And then you take it away for your goal or your business idea or your personal idea. And again, think about what you're offering to the group. How present are you being? How are you being a really good listener? Are you being helpful? And are you turning up? And as I say, these are really, really important things, because as much as you can get from these groups, you also have to give. And be an active player, because by helping others to rise, we lift ourselves. So, you know, I'm a massive believer in you know, by helping others, you help yourself. And by helping others to succeed, you are succeeding yourself as well. So I think by taking these steps, you and they will reach your goals quicker and easier, with less pain, less likely to fall off the wagon. And again, doing something together, you know, forming that bond together, it's a really, really nice, human, caring thing to do. So again, just to round off, you know, sometimes we fall off the wagon. This lockdown has been unprecedented for so many people, and it's not a time to look back now and think what I should have done, you know, shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's about the here and now. It's about surrounding yourself with the right people, the positive people, finding that accountability partner who gets you, who supports you, who you have a bond with. Maybe joining a mastermind group if that's something that you want to do and work on. Create one yourself. And again, it's not just about business. This can be about professional goals, personal goals, family goals. You know, it could be a whole host of things. So please do not ever think that this has always got to be about that. So I just want to finally share with you my top tips on how to be focused over the coming weeks, because we know that it's going to be a really tough time. We're going to adjust to a new normal again as we come out of lockdown. We've seen the light at the end of the tunnel. We're coming through it now, and our lives have become busier again. We're going to have more distractions around us again. And sometimes we might lose sight of what we promised ourselves. After learning so much about ourselves during lockdown, we might lose sight of that as we get busier. So my top tips for you to do now, or to do when you can, you know, create that vision board and keep it somewhere visible. And if you already did create it during your lockdown, again, keep it visible and remind yourself of why you are doing this, and know your why, and remind yourself of this every single day. Because if you don't know your why, or what you're doing all of this for, then you won't keep doing it. You'll have no motivation, you'll have no clarity, and you'll have no direction. To help you achieve these goals, create a 90-day plan. That's 12 weeks, that's 3 months, that's a quarter of the year. And by helping to sort of break up the year and the weeks into these bite-sized chunks, you are more likely to be successful in achieving your goals. So take a look at our 90-day plan workshop, take a look at our vision board masterclass workshop, take some time to do these when you've got some headspace. Then, you know, find an accountability partner and tell them about it, or share it in your mastermind group, and, you know, put it out there in the world, because when you voice something, you're more likely to follow through and actually do it when you actually say it out loud. One of the biggest things I think about staying focused is setting up your day the night before. So writing a to-do list, having a plan. I know that during this time where we've been at home, I've had to make a plan on my phone every night. So tomorrow I have to actually look at what day of the week it is and the date. And then I think, right, tomorrow I've got to do the shop. I've got the dog walks. I've got to call that person. I've got to sort out that personal admin, and then I've got to do that. And I give myself like 5 to-do things to make sure that I'm keeping on top of what I promised myself. I always think that we put off the worst thing and the most difficult thing, but it's proven that if you do that first, and if you just tackle it head on in the morning, then you're more likely to do it. And then afterwards, that sense of satisfaction actually sets you up for the rest of the day, because anything else after that you actually kind of wanted to do or enjoyed more. And so then the rest of your day is more enjoyable, rather than leaving it to 5 o'clock at night and thinking, I still haven't done that report, or I still haven't been out for that run. And it's kind of like lingering over you and looming over you all day. So do the most difficult and worst things first. Eliminate distractions and procrastination. I think we're all guilty of this. You know, social media, our phones, we're at home now, so we're relying on our phones for more communication and to keep connected with people, but just limit this and maybe give yourself, you could use techniques like the 25-minute technique, where you focus for 25 minutes and then you give yourself a 5-minute break to check your phone, grab a coffee, come back, and then another 25 minutes. So almost reward yourself for being focused by giving yourself that phone time and social media time. And procrastination, actually, I was reading a book about this, and they say that it's actually because of the fear of doing something, or because for instance, doing a piece of work or report, the actual fear of doing it is probably more because you don't quite know what to do, you haven't got all the information, and so it's actually the fear, and that that you're not quite sure what to do, that the fact is you're putting it off and you're procrastinating about it rather than just tackling it head on, and spending some more time actually doing it. Take steps to improve your physical and mental well-being, and mindfulness. By being in more control of your well-being and your mindfulness, you are more likely to be able to handle the ever-mounting, demands that are going to be coming on us as we enter back into the workplace and back into real life. So check in with yourself physically and mentally throughout this to keep focused, because if something is hazing you and something's in the back of your mind and it's proven hazy, then you're not going to have clarity and focus in order to smash your goals and to achieve what you've set out to achieve. So do address that, don't ignore it, you've got to address it, and take care of yourself. Get out in the fresh air, take some exercise, do some mindfulness, whatever works for you. You don't have to do it all, because we're not all perfect, but just do whatever works for you. And sleep and nutrition is so important, and that kind of goes hand in hand with the well-being. Sleeping helps us be more productive and focused every day. If you want a good read, Matthew Walker, Why We Sleep, is a great example of this. It's a very scientific book, but it really puts it into black and white the power of having a really good night's sleep can have. And fueling your body for maximum focus. Is Red Bull and coffee the best thing to be fueling yourself with all day, every day? Probably not. A nice coffee in the morning, but nutritious food, feeling healthy, feeling clear, not having a hangover every morning, will help you get up, be focused, and achieve your goals every single day. And like what we've been talking about today, find an accountability partner and allow them to hold you to account, and be proactive and surround yourself with people that are actually better than you. And that's the key here. If you surround yourself with people that are better than you, then you're more likely to achieve more. So that is all from me today. If you would like to follow us on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. If you would like to find us at our website, it's www.professionaltreat.co.uk. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn as well. These are virtual treats to help us navigate life through lockdown. And as we're coming through this, I'm so delighted to hear of all the success stories of people who have found some of the information that we've been giving out really useful. So the videos will be always there to watch back on and to catch up on, no matter what part of your journey you're at. You can rewatch them at any time. So I hope you're safe and well. Take care out there. Enjoy reconnecting with friends and family, colleagues, and I hope that you have a really, really lovely day and that you feel more focused and more motivated. Take care. Speak to you soon.